Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time today to join together to collectively send positive thoughts to help end world hunger and poverty. We live in a time where around the world, over 800 million people go to bed in poverty and hunger each night. But we also live in a new digital age where we can all connect together to send positive thoughts as a unified voice to help end hunger and poverty within our communities, our country, and the world. We hold this hunger and poverty vigil today to broadcast our loving hope for a world full of compassion, where no one goes to sleep without the food, water, and shelter they need. Now let's begin. Let's all join to say the vigil aloud together from our hearts as a unified voice, following the words as they show on the screen. We join together as a world community to cast our positive thoughts for an end to the burden the whole world carries as it endures extreme poverty and hunger in every land. Let us embrace the suffering women, men, and children whose bodies, minds, and spirits are shrinking before our very eyes. May we all look with clear eyes and open hearts to see the pain and hopelessness in their bewildered eyes. May we kindle within each one of us a flame of love and purpose, and then enable us to channel our love into action in every way possible and impossible to come to their aid. We shine all our collective support for the poor, hungry, and neglected all over the world, that their cries for daily food may inspire works of compassion and mercy among those to whom much has been given. We send love and hope for the farmers with limited or marginal land throughout the world, for those who lack access to water and other resources, and for the light of research and support services to shine in the lives of all people. We send positive thoughts for an end to pandemic disease throughout the world, particularly those exacerbated by lack of nutritious food and outright hunger, that plagues of death may no longer fuel poverty, destabilize nations, and inhibit reconciliation and restoration throughout the world. Let us all come together to end the waste and desecration of the earth and send waves of hope for the abundance of life to be shared equally among all people, and for communities and nations to find sustenance in the fruits of the earth. Let us collectively dispatch our hope for all nations and people who already enjoy the abundance and prosperity of life, to have their hearts lifted up to help the needs of the poor and afflicted. May partnerships between the rich and poor around the world flourish and grow so that abundance is experienced by all of humanity. We send unified thoughts of love and compassion today for all the women and men, boys and girls who are homeless this day, for those sleeping under bridges, on park benches, in doorways or bus stations, for those who can only find shelter for the night but must wander in the daytime, for families broken because they could not afford to pay the rent, for those who have no relatives or friends who can take them in, for those who have no place to keep possessions that remind them who they are, for those who are afraid and hopeless, for those who have not been taken care of by our social safety net. For all these people, we collectively broadcast our strong desire that they be provided shelter, security, and hope. We send thoughts of compassion for those of us with warm houses and comfortable beds, that we may not be lulled into complacency and forgetfulness. As a community, let us give the needed support so that we can see hope in the eyes of every homeless person we meet. May everyone in the world be empowered to work for justice and peace through words and deeds and through the political means we have. May we all open our hearts to greet and meet the homeless people in our neighborhoods and assist them in any way we can. for this we send our positive waves of hope. We join together as one to support those crushed by poverty and those oppressed by forces beyond their control. We send positive thoughts that those in the shadow of starvation may see the light in the form of life-sustaining food, and that the hungry everywhere might be fed until they are filled. We collectively hope for the strength to strive to meet the needs of the least of these among us. In a world so richly blessed, there are none that should lack daily bread. Our hope is that we are empowered to do whatever needs to be done to see that all the world's gifts are shared with all our family. We collectively broadcast all our hopes for everyone who is hungry today, whether they live thousands of miles away or in our local communities. As a community, we shine our positive guiding thoughts for food prices around the world to stabilize and fall so that more countries do not fall into extreme hunger. We send hope for wisdom amongst leaders and experts working to tackle hunger, and that they would be willing and able to make progress in identifying ways to combat food security and help communities adapt to changing weather patterns. We join together to remember all the poor and neglected persons whom it would be easy for us to forget, the homeless and the destitute, the old and the sick, and all who have none to care for them. We collectively shine our positive guiding thoughts to heal those who are broken in body or spirit and to turn their sorrows into joy. We send unified thoughts of compassion for those with no home to return to at the end of long and weary days. May they be protected from all harm and kept from despair. We forward our positive ways of compassion for all those with abundance to share, to open their hearts and eyes to help those in need around them. We unite our voices in a call for justice so that no person need ever lay down for the night on a wooden park bench because they have no home. That no person ever need to tuck their children into the back seat of their car because they have no home. So that no child will ever wonder, where will I feel safe? Because they have no home. So that all those who wonder and all who are in need find the shelter and the peace they seek. We join together to be vigilant and not rest fully secure in our homes each night until all men, women, and children in the world have all the shelter, food, and water they need. As we near the close of our vigil, let's all take some time during the music to send positive thoughts about the areas of world hunger and poverty that are important to us personally. Okay, let's close with some final positive thoughts to end world hunger and poverty. We send unified thoughts of love and compassion for the leaders of our nation and of the world to hear the cries of hungry people that are ringing in our own ears. May our leaders have the courage, the vision, and the wisdom to help us create a world where all are fed. We collectively send positive thoughts and hopes for us all to have the conviction and perseverance to serve and to speak out for hungry people and have our voices amplified so we end hunger in our world. This concludes today's vigil. Thank you for joining. Go in peace.